All right. So, here we are, and I have a lot more energy than last time. Last time, yeah, I attempted to make a Battletoads video, but I didn't have any energy. I was literally falling asleep hearing my own voice. But now I'm energized, just had some tuna salad, way to go. And, yeah, all right, so. Without further ado, I'll just do a little bit of explaining. So, yeah, there's a lot of preliminary videos, a lot of shenanigans and mishaps that took place as my video game videographer skills have developed and evolved. And I do believe that I still do have those videos I made from scratch, and I had them on a TikTok account called uh the Arcade Tavern. But I've decided to go another direction, as you can see. So welcome to Kingdoms and Controllers, my new TikTok account for my love of video games. And now I will also discuss, yes, Game Genie Game Bar is not the way to go. Um, It has screen capture tech inherent in that program for various gaming programs like RetroArch and others, but it never works ever. And I just want to say how thankful and excited I am to have downloaded OBS 32.1.2. It is an extremely excellent program, and it makes my $30 Walmart. Did I say walnut? Walmart. $30 Walmart microphone sound like gold. Yeah, but just to catch you up a little bit, um, I did do some developing this early afternoon before, yeah, early afternoon, and I'm very happy with it. I use the Godot engine. I'm trying to, get a server running for a kind of spooky social platform slash sandbox kind of thing. Can't wait to get it going. But right now I'm just having fun doing some gaming videos. But just so you know, yeah, one of the developers that I follow, he developed a game called I Am Liam. I believe that's what it's called, or You Are Liam, something like that. And I actually watched a YouTube playthrough of it today, and I really laughed. It was very unique. I definitely enjoyed it. He actually developed that game with Godot, the Godot 4.6 that I'm using, or a Godot 4, one of the versions of it. But so now we are going to. It's been a fabulous day so far. We're gonna open RetroArch here. Um, all right. And I did just erase a ton of things to get my videos running smoothly and create space to make a video. I never keep more than one video on my system at one time for that very reason. Videos actually take up quite a bit of space. And today, yeah, I haven't really had a lot of plans lately for my gaming videos. Um, whatever I, whatever game I decide on to sample and play and talk about, when it's kind of mixed with my life, so to speak, or opinions, or just gaming, just general conversation. I usually put that as the poster of the game video that I'm posting on social media. So yeah. And it's kind of like I'm a magician now where I'm telling you pick a card, any card. Maybe you're thinking of a game you want me to play when you see these cores here, but I think I am going to go on our beloved Nintendo Entertainment System and going to go to our games there and yeah. Yeah, I was looking at some of these strange ROMs earlier, and yeah, the video that I'm not gonna use, the Battletoads one, I went into some of these like hacks, and I couldn't get them to even boot up, but they had some very strange menu screens with basically a game compilation of 20 licensed games that it looked like it was from Asia or something like that, but okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. And yesterday I also made another video that I'm probably not going to use either. I was just so zapped just when I made those videos and I was not feeling it at all. But it was a video about Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt, which I don't think I had ever played the Nintendo Entertainment System version before. Um all right though. So let's see here. We're going down the B's, we're going down the C's. Nothing's quite poking out yet. Oh, well, no, I've never played the original Bomberman actually, but let's see. Keep going here. Um, Cabal, I believe I may have played that, but I can't really remember. Let's see. So, oof, I don't know if I'm up for this or not, but you know what? I think that I'm gonna go ahead and do the original Castlevania. I'm gonna do it. This is such a great commemorative video for my my channel, you know. Um I can't believe I'm doing this. Yeah, I know this game like the back of my hand. I mean, I could talk about this for days, hours, weeks, months, years. I have I have so many stories about this game. First time I ever played it, oh my gosh. I mean, I was probably, I don't know, 5 years old, maybe maybe 6 years old. I'm not sure. Probably 7. I was probably about 7 years old. All right, so we're gonna quote. We're gonna pull the screen in a little bit. Yeah, the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Nintendo Entertainment System was out several years before me and my brother got one. Um, the first time I ever played this game was actually on one of those Nintendo arcade cabinet thingies. The kind that you actually saw at Pizza Hut that had like the Super Mario Brothers, like a lot. They had them at Pizza Hut a lot of times, and yep, secret. Everybody knows about that one, huh? And yeah, but the first time I ever saw Castlevania in my entire life, I was taking a karate. I was in a karate class. I was literally 7 years old at a karate class, and the furthest I made it up in that karate class was yellow belt, and I'm surprised I even was able to do that. I mean, I was a pitiful little kid that could not pay attention or follow instructions, but I'll get into the karate thing later. But this, I saw this in a arcade Nintendo kind of cabinet thing, like the kind of Super Mario Brothers they would have at like, little Pizza Hut. But this was a double game cabinet. It actually had two game options in it, and I'll never forget this thing. You could play The Goonies 2, which was the Nintendo game of the Goonies, which, strangely enough, was apparently a Nintendo sequel to the Goonies. And then we also had Castlevania. You could choose that one, of course. I was more interested in that one, of course. And I'll never forget seeing that bat fly out of the that the bat flew out of the castle. Yeah. And towards the screen, towards the title screen. I was amazed by that, mesmerized, and so basically, the story goes, um, probably that year, it had to be that year, and I think I was actually 8 years old, because I remember, when I was in that karate class, I was probably 8, I was 8 years old, I always remember being 8 years old, that was the solid number. And my brain is definitely working so much better recently anyway because I've been eating a lot of fish today. Had some salmon and some tuna. So yeah, tuna doesn't make your brain lie. Especially healthy tuna. But yeah, yeah, I was 8 years old and I saw that cabinet. So basically what happened is, in the Cooper family household, Christmas came that year, and we got a Nintendo that year for Christmas when I was 8 years old. And when I took karate, I definitely already turned 8. My birthday, yeah, so it was in July 5th, so I'd already, yeah, and I remember, so what happened, yeah, and that Christmas, we got the games we got. Very simple. We got Super Mario Brothers and Balloon Fight. Those were our first 2 Nintendo games. I remember it very, very well. And my sister's well, he later on he became my sister's husband, but back then, at that time, he was only her boyfriend. This would have been 1980. Let me see. Somewhere around 1988, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we got a Nintendo very late in the game. But yeah, so anyway, he helped my parents. He was like a big, quote unquote, video gamer and stuff, and yeah, he actually helped my parents. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, he helped my parents pick out one of the games, and of course, the Nintendo came with Super Mario Brothers, and Duck Hunt. But he also helped my parents pick out a game, which is Balloon Fight, and Balloon Fight was the other game that we got for Christmas with the Nintendo. And yeah, it was such an amazing time, just sitting there playing like Balloon Fight and Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. That was a lot of games, we could pick between those 3 games, and of course I remember my sister and everybody was so aggravated and annoyed by that annoying dog on Duck Hunt that goes when you miss, and of course, the only way you can play that game is if you have a CRT cathode ray television, and of course we did. Who wouldn't at that time? And yeah, then that game was always very challenging. But what happened is of course I was the Castlevania expert, since I played it at the I had exclusive rights. I mean, I had exclusive I could play it exclusively since I was taking karate at this gym, this like 2-story gym. and I can't remember. God, I think the game was on the bottom floor. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. And I had exclusive playing rights to Castlevania, the arcade cabinet, in that gym because I was by myself waiting for my parents to pick me up. And I don't. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I had to have money to play it. I mean, I guess. I don't. I don't. I don't remember. You know, it's kind of funny. Yeah, those games took quarters. So yeah, I mean, I guess I might have had a few quarters. I don't really remember having any quarters back then in my pocket. But I don't think they would have. You know, I don't think they would have had the game rigged to just be able to play. Because of course it was like a vending machine. I mean, you had to have money to play it. But I think what it was basically is, I probably finally got around to asking my parents, hey, more than likely, when you can't remember things specifically, what happened you know, I probably said, hey mom, dad or whatever, I want to play this game, it's Castlevania, I keep watching like the intro or something, and I want to play it. I probably only got to play it like one time. Probably. I don't even know if I ever got to play it, honestly. I might have, because I didn't have quarters. I would just watch the little intro thing. Like, that's what I would do. I would just sit there, now that I think I remember. Yeah, I would just sit there and watch the little demo over and over and over and over again. I would watch that demo. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, because my parents, once they picked me up, I was ready to go. I never, I doubt very seriously that I ever got to play that game. No way. They would just say, hey, come on, and I'm pretty sure I just basically, just watching that demo was enough for me. Just being able to sit there and wait on my parents to pick me up, and just being able to sit there and just watch the demo by myself, that was mesmerizing enough for me, and just, that was definitely enough for me. Um, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, and that's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. I would, like, sit there and watch the little bat come out of the castle to all the way to the title screen, and I would watch the different demo levels, and that always made me more fascinated with the demo, because I would remember, I remember, like, sitting by myself watching this demo. I would also watch the demo to the Goonies as well. But I wasn't really that interested in this. I was more interested in, the Castlevania with the monsters and everything. So, what went down is, of course, it was the 1980s, so, me and my brother and my family, we would make our regular trip to KB Toys. We would go to KB Toys, and, we would go see what's inside of there. And of course, they had the Nintendo games, like the Nintendo Entertainment System games, along a wall. Most KB toys back then that were in the mall were all the same. So I'm sure anybody that's been to a KB Toys before, they remember everything about how the store was laid out, which was basically, right when you walk into the store from the mall, you had the games, okay, well, actually, I could describe the whole store, and I'm sure this is what the stores looked like all across the country. You had the little electronic toys, like the little toys that were battery powered in the front, and they put them on display in the front in these little circular little cardboard little case things where you could see what the little electronic toys were doing in the very front of the store. So, for example, maybe there was like some little mechanical dogs that were battery powered that walked around by themselves, when you turn the switch on, or maybe or my favorite thing ever, which is completely epic, that I was completely obsessed with, was the penguin race blue toy, like ice slide thing. It was like a slide uh, kind of thing, where you had these little bitty toy penguins with wheels, and it would take a D battery in the back of the compartment, and basically, you just basically would, you know, it had these little mechanical stairs, and the penguins would literally just go up the stair by themselves, and with the mechanism. And they then once they got all the way up, like kind of a roller coaster looking thing, small little loop, not a loop, but like a kind of, little slide thingy that they would go down. Once they got up the ladder, the little mechanical ladder steps thing, they would go down this loopy slide thing. It didn't loop in like a loop, like a up and down like loop, like that makes you dizzy on a roller coaster. But it would just kind of sway to the right in a loop, and then go in this little bitty hole. The track would go through a hole inside of the ladder, and then they would go up the ladder again. I mean, that was like my favorite toy that KB had ever, that was displayed at the front. And I didn't get one of those until far into my adulthood, thanks to eBay. Because now, there's so many like companies that make those. They make them like brand new, so you can get like a brand new one that these little Asian companies or whoever manufactures them. 2 or 3 different kinds. They're so popular. You can get like a brand new one now for like $15 on eBay or something, or $20, or maybe $30, depending on the seller. But yeah, so yeah, and then if you go, not to elaborate too much on KB, too late. I'm just kidding. But no, but of course, when you go in KB Toys, on the right side, you see the cashier and the cash register and everything. But then you go a little further on the right, and you see, very close to the cashier desk, you see the video games. But you don't actually see the games. They're as you can remember from Toys R Us, they're like the little plastic shaped things that are shaped like the Nintendo game box. And you would go in there, and you would see all the different games they had, like the new games or whatever the games were available. You would see the little plastic rectangular little thing that looked just like the game box, the Nintendo game box. But you would see, and I remember, me and my parents and my brother, we went in there one night. We were hanging out in the mall. There was a Chick-fil-A restaurant in that mall. That mall's still there, actually, which is very surprising. I think it shut down for many years, but that mall. I'm sure we got like free chicken nuggets. They'd sample Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets and everything. And I was like, I walked up to the Nintendo games, and I was like the expert. I was literally the expert. I was the Castlevania expert. I was like, oh, it's Castlevania. Hey, I tell my brother, like, look, it's Castlevania. It's Castlevania. He didn't even know what Castlevania was. I did all the explaining. I was like, it's this really cool game with monsters, and I was the expert just because I'd watched the demo. For so many times, but I was like, I know this game. We gotta play this game. And my brother was like immediately on board. He looked at the game, like the pictures on the game, like, oh, this game looks, he didn't really talk much. He was an introvert, but you could tell he was like, oh, really, really interested. Because back at that time, that was like the very, like, okay, let's just put it this way. There's no other way to explain this, but okay. So basically, long story short, I don't know how to say this without sounding bad, but my brother turned into a massive jerk. Like, uh, he ended up turning into a massive jerk, which I'm sure that sibling rivalry and people can relate to that kind of thing in families and how families, people change. But yeah, but back then though, at that age, he would have been like 9 years old. He was actually pretty nice at that time. Like the whole process of him turning kind of mean and bad for the most part, it hadn't happened yet. So when he was 9, uh he was still nice, and he was like really into the game. He was like, wow, he didn't talk much, but he was like, wow, kind of like responded. I could kind of tell what he was feeling, and he was thinking, wow, this Castlevania game, this looks so good. And he believed everything I said. Like, yeah, this game's so good. There's an arcade game, and I see it at the karate place, and we got to play this. So yeah, like my parents. I never have realized how hard it is to talk and play this game. It's like chewing gum and rubbing your head at the same time. Let me focus for just a moment. Oh. Obviously, this is one of the more challenging levels. Just let me get this straight. I gotta use the clock. Forgot about that. Whoa, I was really eating it there for a little bit. But yeah, we were all on board, and my parents were like, okay, so we're gonna get Castlevania. So then my parents bought the game. And it was all over. That was it, man. Like, are you serious? Oh my god. Did I not have any hearts there? Excuse my French. Forgive me, Lord, for... wait. But yeah, yeah, we were bought and sold, and after that point, me and my brother, we pretty much became lifelong Castlevania fans. Literally to the point, I mean, I'm still a Castlevania fan, and I'm actually pre-ordering the new Curse of Belmont, Belmont's Curse, pretty soon. It's coming out in October. I don't even keep up with when games come out. Like, I really don't. But, like, it's kind of hard not to keep up with that one. And for some reason, whatever reason, Konami's doing pretty good with advertising it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to pre-order that game. I feel so excited about it. It's like the first side-scrolling Castlevania game that they have actually... new installment game that they have made in probably... God. I want to say 30 years. That's what I want to say. Probably something close to that. Or 25 years at least. Something pretty close to that. Or 25 years. Give a little maybe. So, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty exciting thing, that's gonna happen, then, like, making that game and everything. Oh, I'm out of hearts. But yeah, we got Castlevania, and then we kept our Nintendo in the the den at the time where the TV was. So so basically, oh gosh, I just realized I am completely unprepared and unequipped for Frankenstein. Yeah, but basically, yeah, we that was our third game that we ever had on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and our den at the time. At the time, that was actually a very popular place where we had our den. We called it, like, my family, We called it the den. The den was where we watched TV, where we watched cable TV. The living room was more of a room where, everybody's got names for their house and the social structure of, families. But yeah, the den was where we watched TV, like cable TV, and the living room was just somewhere where we had a lot of furniture and people could sit and relax or whatever, but there was no TV in there. So the den was TV, and it almost makes me want to do an anthropological study of humans. Like, how many families called their room the den, or something? And it's kind of interesting. But oh man, I really needed the holy water. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I'm gonna have to beat this guy all natural. Not easy. Hit the crap out of him. Don't stop. Don't stop hitting him. Don't stop. Don't stop hitting him. It is possible. It's entirely possible. As long as you don't stop hitting him. Yeah, didn't get it this time. But, yeah, Frankenstein's one of the harder enemies. You definitely have to have the holy water. But yeah, like, we had the Nintendo Entertainment System in our den. It was kind of in the corner, a big TV in the corner that was, close to the kind of walkway arch that went into the living room. It wasn't really an arch, but there was part of the wall missing in that house that went into the living room from the den. It was like an open wall where you could just walk through. And for many years, numerous, uncountable amount of times, we also had the dining room in that particular den where the den was. We also had the dining room. Oh, alright, so just keep hitting. Yeah. But yeah, that was where the Nintendo Entertainment System was with the TV. So yeah, that's where we played Castlevania on that big TV, big wooden furniture looking TV. And my computer monitor is probably almost bigger than that monitor. Almost as wide as that monitor one. Wider than that monitor was, which is saying a lot for a family TV back then. But most family TVs did not have a very big picture or face or glass area. The biggest TV you could get back in the mid 80s did not have a very large screen. And most of the size was in the wooden part, the wooden furniture part. Oh. Yeah, if you could just keep hitting this guy enough. But yeah, but this is Castlevania. Obviously I can't play through the whole game right now, but I'll definitely... There's videos that I want to do. Oh, I can definitely show the demo here. Yeah, there's the bat flying out of the castle to the title screen, and you'll see all the demos that I would watch at the karate gym. Uh, but basically, yeah. Um, that was our third Nintendo game. So we were racking it up, baby. We had Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, Balloon Fight, and Castlevania. Those were our three games for the longest time. It kind of makes me fascinated to know what our fourth game actually was, and I think the more clear minded I get and the healthier I get neurologically, I could probably actually remember. That's the funny thing about brain health is you can actually remember things. That I know Castlevania was our third game, and yeah, but I could actually probably and you could probably piece together the information based on like when the games came out, which one preceded the other, or preceded or proceeded. Yeah, but yeah, we played Castlevania in that living room. I mean, not living room. I can't believe I just broke the laws of the house. In the den, in that corner, that was where our Nintendo was for a good bit. Probably I want to say for at least a year until the parents were finally burned out with family time. And my dad, of course, and I'm sure every dad in America from the 80s can relate to this. He finally said, "All right, let's get them a TV for their room and take it off to their room." And that is a story for next time, but I will tell you how that started. Oh, here's a very epic part of the demo that I remember, but I will tell you how that started. And it was probably the next Christmas, more than likely. I don't really know. It might not have been the next Christmas of the next year, but it might have been the following. I'm not really sure. I'd have to try to remember. But that's when we got our two little Craig TVs, our two little 13-inch TVs. My brother got a 13-inch TV, and I got a 14-inch TV. Uh, Basically, I think it was 13 or 14-inch. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. But yeah, he got a little TV. I got a little TV. It was Craig was the brand. And then, we both had a TV for our room. And I don't know why they got me one too when I didn't even have a video game system. Like, actually, you know what? I am so mixed up. We probably didn't get those Craig TVs for years later, probably at least 3 years later. What happened is my parents got a new TV and they moved the big TV up to my brother's room. That particular TV that was in the den. That's how it went down, I believe. But I'm still kind of shady on that too. I can't remember. Oh my god! Because I mean, I know that I wouldn't have even had anything to do with my 13-inch TV, like because my brother's the one that got the Nintendo, so he's always the one that got the game system. So he would have had the Nintendo Entertainment System in his room and everything. So I would, but so yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like there might have been an older wooden TV that wasn't the main TV or something that we could play or something that was in his room because I remember kind of like playing that on a TV in my brother's room because we would play the I don't know when we played Atari. Like my sister dragged her Atari 2600 out at some point and we would play it, but that might have been before we got the Nintendo. I don't know, but yeah, I'm definitely having trouble remembering what TV we played that Nintendo on in my brother's room. But it was definitely in my brother's room and not in my room because they were his systems. Because I got a bunch of toys. That's what I would get for Christmas. I'd get like a bunch of toys, and he would get a system, and it stayed like that even into adulthood. Like even all the way until the PS3 came out. That was the last time we lived together, pretty much. Uh, and that was the last system during Christmas on Christmas Day that he got, and I got toys, of course. We were probably, oh my god, in our 20s, I guess. Crazy to think about, but yeah. So this has been a good little video. That's a good little dose of Castlevania. I'm sorry I didn't save the holy water so I could beat Frankenstein, but I couldn't play forever anyway, of course. So, but it's been great hanging out with anybody who loves the original video games and pioneer video games or video games in general, like I do. I love them so much, and that's why I want to share all of these thoughts and memories on social media. Thank you if you made it this far. Thank you so much for watching, and if you love video games, please follow, and you'll hear a lot more from me.